approaches on the air French North Station 1, response priority 1 to 7773 Kirkwood Drive, 7773 Kirkwood, cross of Kingsbrook in Yorkshire for a 55-year-old male having trouble breathing, requesting a silent approach, time out 16:39 feet.
Central Dispatch, Girl Fire, clear to scene, East Elm, return to quarters.
Right.
Monroe Township Rescue 4 will be responding with 2+1 priority 3, South Custer on a motor vehicle accident. South Custer, Command of Fire 13 and F35.
Like a distant rumble. Let's throw a commercial on this. And I mean, talk about really distant. And then he claimed that there were shots fired. He claimed that he was hit. And then the sergeant, Beth Roberts, just started mag dumping on the back of the patrol cruiser where Maurice Jackson was in the back with his handcuffs behind his back. And they're just opening. They're both mag dumping on this patrol cruiser.
No, it's just the one.
Is that what you're talking about? Was that Florida? Oh, that's right. It was Florida. It was, Okaloosa County. What a short memory I have. He was allowed to resign from accountability. Yeah, I covered it. It looks like you could insert that little piece where he tripped and he did that tumble and then he went in the street and started magged up in the car. You could actually insert that in the movie Police Academy, and people would think it was meant to be, that the script was baked into that. Cop killed his own shot.
All morning up until the very end of this rally. The rally concluded, the players left the stage, and shortly after that, we noticed chaos on the field here where the crowd had gathered. You might be able to see all that green down there, that field. That was, as you've seen in other images, covered with thousands of people that have gathered here all day.
Let's see NBC's coverage of this. Nothing but crap. That's what NBC stands for.
I'm sure you're going to hug him a little bit tighter tonight, right?
Dana White, you are an amazing guy. I can't thank you enough in here. You and Ginger seem to be getting along. You are not only an amazing businessman, you are an inspiration, you are a philosopher. The way you do business, the way you conduct your business and your friendships and media is, I'm jealous. But Dana, I can't thank you enough for.
I am so tired of doing podcasts. I'm literally done with them. I'm not doing any more podcasts.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering. Is it a work? Is it real? Or did UFC President Dana White actually say enough is enough and watch a podcast with Howie Mandel? I don't know. Everybody has their podcast. I kind of feel like the podcast boom is over. I mean, I'm not saying like there's nobody that listens to podcasts, but I don't think anybody cares what every famous celebrity has a podcast and they're boring. Howie Mandel's podcast is boring. It's failing. Why Dana White would have ever attended Howie Mandel's podcast is beyond me. Dana, unless you're close personal friends with Howie Mandel and you were trying to do him a solid, dude, if you want to get the message out there about the UFC, come do a video with me. My videos get 2 to 3 times the views Howie Mandel gets. He has 200,000 subscribers. I have 1.5 million on YouTube, plus another 200,000. Come. We don't even have to do podcasts. Give me 5 minutes, brother. 5 minutes. And I'll get you on your way. But that's neither here nor there. Let's get into the video. Let's break down if it's real or not, and enjoy the impending chaos right after a super quick word from this video sponsor, Private Internet Access. Huge shout out to this video sponsor, Private Internet Access. Look, in the current year, everyone basically has to have VPN. It's a extremely versatile and now basically required tool of browsing the modern internet.
Hey, Gregory.
That's why I'm happy to be partnered with Private Internet Access and have been for over a year now. It's a VPN I use. It's a VPN I recommend to my friends and family, and I have a massive discount for my viewers. In short, a VPN allows you to change the location that you may be seen as browsing the internet from. This helps you unlock television shows and movies that might not be available in your area. It allows you to browse the internet anonymously. Heck, even right now, we just saw several countries, for example, Google and Meta are now blocking news in Canada. And, well, how are you going to get your news? Well, you could change your location. VPN helps protect your privacy, secure your data, bypass network blocks. It comes in extremely important all the time. That's why I have it on my computers, laptops, and mobile phones. Private Internet Access is an open source app with no usage logs, unlimited bandwidth, high-speed server network, dedicated apps.
Maybe my brain's already fucking fried for the day.
24/7 live support. Unlock the power of the internet and stay censorship-free by using my link in the description below and get yourself. If you don't have VPN, make sure you use the link in the description. Get signed up today. I've got a massive discount for my viewers only. It's the VPN I use on my phone, laptop, tablets, and work computer. So Howie Mandel does stuff. I don't have to worry about this being a work and me promoting his podcast, because I know for a fact none of my viewers are probably going to listen to Howie Mandel's boring podcast. Okay? I don't have anything personally against Howie Mandel. I'm sure he's just another woke weirdo. But this guy's show, look, even with Dana White on the podcast, he can't even break 70,000 views. Can't even break 70,000 views. Why would Dana White be on this podcast? That's the first questionable thing to me. But let's get to the clip. You tell me what you think. New Howie Mandel's jaw drops after UFC President Dana White gets up and walks out of his podcast after Mandel spends 30 seconds fawning all over him. Now, he doesn't look happy to begin with. I don't know if Dana White has ever kind of been involved in these kind of stunts before, but and he does. There's one F word coming here, so just so you know, I'll try to skip it. I didn't know. I'm actually re-recording the whole video because of that. So, you know, I try to keep my show family friendly and let one slip through there. So here's the intro.
Dana White, you are an amazing guy. You are, I can't thank you enough for being here. You and Ginger seem to be getting along. You are not only an amazing businessman, you are an inspiration.
He looks bored. He looks frustrated. He looks bored. I think my thing is, if it's real, he probably was like, what am I doing on this podcast that nobody listens to? What am I even doing here? I could be on the Quarterings channel and 5 times as many people would see my video. That's probably what Dana White was thinking.
For the way you do business, the way you conduct your business and your friendships and media is, I'm jealous.
Oh, okay.
But Dana,
I didn't see it.
Thank you enough for being here.
Thank you for all the kind words. I appreciate it. I am so.
Okay, so
I haven't seen that person in a while.
He says, I'm so effing tired of doing podcasts.
I'm literally done with it. I'm not doing any more podcasts.
He moves the mic and just walks out. And they're like, what's happening? So I don't know if you go to the actual full episode, which hardly anybody does. You see him walk out.
6.5, almost 6. I ain't trying to brag. That's one of my smaller platforms.
I have your stuff.
Back up. I'm trying to intimidate you, man. It doesn't really work on me, man.
Are you trying to limit my speech, brother? You go back to do your job.
This is my job. This is my job.
Welcome back to the Lackluster channel. Hendry and Ty have been involved in the auditing community for a few years now, but Hendry is currently facing misdemeanor harassment and felony stalking charges in Indiana. So, to see what the state is attempting to lock him up for 2.5 years for, here are the interactions noted in the probable cause affidavit. The first encounter was in April of 2022. Hendry was filming at the Clinton City Hall when the police chief ordered him to leave without even asking why he was there.
City Hall's closed.
It's closed.
Yeah.
Isn't this a Tuesday?
City Hall's closed. Can you guys please leave?
Hendry's first contact with the alleged victim was when she exited her office to film him, and in fact, it was her that engaged him in conversation.
This isn't the council. No, this is the council. Man, this ain't the council room. If you take me and I just read the ordinance to you, man, you try to know what's on here. That's gonna be a simple right line. Leave.
Yes, I've asked you.
You made contact with me.
Yes, if you're in City Hall, it's closed.
Look up the statute for disorder. Man, go hands on, you're gonna get the lawsuit. If you want that, we're gonna have to wait. Man, I just read the city ordinance and doesn't say anything about this area. And I can get that. Man, keep asking whether there's no law. Because I'm here investigating the fact that they're not going to 6 feet.
Back out. We live here.
Dude, there's no law.
Yes, City Hall is closed. Read the signs out there.
I've just read the ordinance.
Signs out there says City Hall is closed.
I just read the ordinance.
Please leave.
A lot of people have not read the laws.
There's no law.
No, there's no law that open violation.
Yeah, City Hall is closed.
I just read the laws that it says if you are disobeying the mayor's order in the council room, that's a different thing. This sign.
Yes,
Well, where's the law that says that they can't Where does the law say that? Look at the state statute. I have it. I get this from the don't worry. They have to masks. No, you can't just have a mask mandate for the public, man. That's a policy for the employees. That's fine, man. This is Indiana. That's the thing. You know, telling you, you can tell the police leave, it's not a law. I don't get it. It's fighting tumultuous behavior.
It's also not listening to
No, it's not. You have. I just advised you of so you have hands on your lost your qualified. I just advised you that's not law, man. You guys can do yourself a favor, just go back and do your job. This is not what we're doing. Oh shit! On you. Okay, brother. Hey, you're just an American like I am. Yeah, I'm fighting for this country too. People like you, against dude, do not touch my stuff. I can't know what you're doing. Right? Touch your stuff. So now you're getting vandalization charge.
Oh, this here.
Yeah, you are, brother. You are. Dude, stop getting close to me. One, you're harassing, you're intimidating.
Oh, you're harassing.
You're harassing us.
We're here in a public building.
Seeing him.
You go back to do your job.
No, this is my job. This is my job.
Are you trying to push my out? You got that on camera, right? Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
I got it.
Man, are you a kid? Didn't your mommy tell you to not touch?
Get this on camera, bro. I got it. You make fucking beer belly. You look at that, man. You ever take that job and you figure out this is tough guy? You know what? No, you're up. Take the bad job and let's go somewhere else. Let's go to private property and you can fight. You want to? I'm giving you the chance of consent. Are you just you're assaulting me? After being forced out of the building, the alleged victim continues to record and talk Hendry and Ty. I'm getting that recording there. I'm going to. It's called public records request. You think you're so tough? And hey, man, hey, brother. The state alleges that Hendry is responsible for over 740 voicemails sent to the mayor's office as a result of this incident, though his only action was to make the video publicly accessible via YouTube. Nearly 15 months passed until their next contact, but no video is available. A few months later, in August of 2023, Hendry returned to attend an open meeting. Days later, Hendry arrived at the city hall to speak to the mayor.
Patty, how are you doing? I'm good. Is Jack down in today? Is he gonna be later? Could you? Yeah, absolutely. It's 812. All right, thanks, man. Have a good one.
A few weeks after, he returned to request records.
Yeah, sorry. Anybody in there? I hear somebody. Is anybody in there? Yes, but I prefer if you answered the door, Patty. Sorry. This is very disruptive. You're making me speak loudly in the city hall. You see how that's a problem? Of course, we don't know what's going on inside that door. There's been rumors that Patty and Jack may be a fling, you know, and those rumors aren't really backed up with any hard evidence. But what we do see is this kind of suspicious behavior. Whereas I observed Jack's car in the parking lot. I'll show that to you guys later. And the door is locked here, the blinds shut. Inside. The questions are being asked. What's going on in that room? You know, it would take an unreasonable person not to ask that question. Of course, I have actually heard that Patty is unavailable today. She won't answer the door. So, just keep trying.
That is a possibility that we could get those articles articles of impeachment out of judiciary and onto the floor vote. I really want to see the House do a vote on this. I want people to put their names on a vote. So if we have Republicans out there that are not on board on impeaching Joe Biden after all of the evidence, and we'll go over that here shortly, and then I want to know who they are, because I think
go through today, it is nice because it compares and contrasts his statements. And some people might say, or he's lying, right? And he's one of the two. And so David Schaefer is a co-defendant, and he's got a very nice place you can support him and his defense. He's raising funds for his defense. We'll plug that later. But this is the filing that we'll dig into. It is submitted in Fulton County, and we are going to be ready for the Fannie Willis Nathan Wade hearing, which is going to be scheduled tomorrow. So we're going to be planning on streaming all day tomorrow. So make sure you're subscribed and joining us about now. We're starting bright early, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. So plan is probably not going to have a show tomorrow because we'll be streaming all day. I do intend to have a highlight reel after we do the full show. Some occasion can't really stay around for 8 hours, but that's the plan. Now this is all leading up to the hearing that takes place tomorrow. Trump had a different interpretation on how to say Fannie's first name. We call it Fannie here. But I think the accurate pronunciation for her is Fannie. And so he had an interesting take on how to pronounce it. We'll see what he said. Then, also out of Georgia, we have some senators who are actually, this is not really related to the scandal, but it is related to Fannie's corruption and her inability to be an actual prosecutor who actually prosecutes crimes. Georgia state senators sent a letter over to Merrick Garland and the FBI. These are Georgia state people elected by Georgians. And they sent a letter to the FBI saying, our DA is not investigating election fraud. They're not doing anything about it because they're rigging the system, right? As we saw in 2020 when the water main at like 2 in the morning, remember that? All the news anchors were like, weird, a water main broke at the tabulation center. Okay. Was it a toilet? What happened, right? Very strange. So they sent a letter over to the FBI and Merrick Garland, the Justice Department, and said, look, our own prosecutor is not investigating this stuff. Can you please help us? Not that they're any better. AOC is going to respond to election integrity, so see what she says. And then we've got this update on apparently Obama's CIA was spying on Trump's campaign, or let's say this more accurately, they orchestrated other spies. Spy on the campaign. So of course we know that our government is not supposed to be spying on our own people, but this guy, John Brennan, who was at the CIA under Obama, he evidently had triggered a bunch of the Five Eyes countries, the Five Eyes nations, to literally go and spy on Trump's people. So they said, well, we can't do it, but maybe you can, Australia, maybe you can, England, maybe you can, and so on. And they all did it, apparently. Trump knew this was going on. He's got the documents about it. We're going to go down memory lane and remember when he was talking about this. He says, yeah, it's all there. It's the documents that show it. It's all evidence. So then we'll go to the story from Michael Schellenberger, Matt Taibbi, and Alex Gutentag. They all posted this over on Public, so we'll read through some of that piece. Then we've got Joe Brzezinski. He's on the Morning Brzezinski Show, and he's saying to all of us that democracy He's on the line. It's like, yes. So we'll see what's going on there. We also have, as a reminder, the Fannie Willis hearing tomorrow. We're going to be streaming this puppy. And this is the final order from the judge, okay? Amended notice of emotions hearing. He said, having read all of this and adopted the supplementals, we are scheduled for an evidentiary hearing to begin Thursday, February 15th. That's tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. and continuing through Friday, February 16th. So we have rescheduled our lodge event on Friday. So we postponed that. We had a lodge event that was scheduled for Friday with politicals and wellness. Jason Campbell is awesome and he is very accommodating. I sent him a text. Fanny is going to be here on Friday. David Louie to reschedule this thing, and he said, yeah, this is okay. I guess I got bumped by Big Fanny. It's hard to avoid it, brother. Everybody gets bumped by Big Fanny. So he has been gracious enough to reschedule. We're going to come back at Watcher Lodge on 2/29 at 9 a.m. and we're going to have our Zen Wellness event. We're also next week on Thursday. It's not on Lodge yet, but it's going to be. We're doing a food sovereignty workshop with my good friend Michael Voltz, and he's a genius. He's going to share with us some strategies for building out your food supply. So go to Watcher Lodge, check out the calendar, register for these events. They're all free. You don't have to become a paying member for these events. We have other events that are for paying members. So just sign up, come and join us, all free. We also have our website, robertgovea.com. You can access the PDFs over there. If you want to check it out, it looks like this. Just click the report section, scroll on down, grab whatever you want to read. This one here is the Trump petition to SCOTUS. Scroll on down, you see the full PDFs are there. And so it's all available. You can also read a report and check it out.
Hey, Chopper, sorry, guys. The sun is in my eyes. I can barely read chat.
Grab a hat, grab some sandals, grab some,
still here.
Some gear, and look good while you're watching the show. And then lastly, of course, we have our locals community, our members-only community, which is where we do streams in the morning. We already had a full stream this morning. We have Saturday streams. We do after parties. As soon as we're done here, we go on over to locals and hang out with our members. So come and join us.
It's on the main channel all day.
And we love it if you join us. watchingthewatchers.locals.com. And we'll see you over there in our after party. But without any further ado, my friends, we got some business to attend to.
A little bit better. Once I start heading south, it'll
right into it.
be to my right. I won't be in my face anymore.
Fannie Willis and Nathan Wade are busted and even more lies. This time we're going to go through interrogatories. These are statements that both sides send to each other after they need to know more about the other side during the divorce proceeding. Jocelyn, Nathan Wade's ex-wife, sent him a bunch of interrogatories, and he responded. He said, I did this, or I didn't do this. This is the status, and so on. He sent those all back over to her. She would have sent his attorneys interrogatories. They're just exchanging information and communicating without having to go through a deposition. Well, the problem with Nathan's interrogatories are they don't match his affidavit that he submitted in court saying, I don't need to testify because all this is true. And this co-defendant, who's also been alongside Donald Trump, David Schaefer, is saying that he has more evidence to bust these two. He says, we have supplemented our motion to disqualify Fannie. And we have new exhibits here showing how sworn statements by Nathan Wade in the disqualification matter with sworn statements he gave in the divorce. Conflict, there's the word, conflict, I skipped it. How the matters conflict with sworn statements that he gave in his divorce. And so we're going to read through this. Of course, if you want to go and support David Schaefer, he's being ridiculously prosecuted by Fannie Willis and others. You can do that by giving him a follow over at David Schaefer on the X platform and supporting what he's doing. This is what he submitted into Fulton County in Fannie Willis's courtroom along with Judge McAfee. This comes right before the hearing starts on Thursday. This is State of Georgia versus David Schaefer, filed in the state of Georgia, Fulton County led by Fannie, Willis Fannie in Georgia. Here's what Schaefer says. All right, Judge McAfee, I know you've gotten a lot of these supplementals, and you know there's a lot of dirt between these two, but there's more coming. Here it is. Defendant Schaefer files this motion to show that upon information and belief, fortunately, Special Assistant Wade, Nathan Wade, he's made knowingly false and misleading statements, lies about his relationship with Fanny. Oh man, that's a serious accusation. Like serious, right? He's a lawyer. He just got called a liar. Mr. Schaefer submits the statements that we're going to go through as additional evidence of misconduct by the entire prosecution, including Willis and Wade, and this is granted this qualification. So they say, look, Attorney Wade, he filed interrogatory responses. So think of this as a series of questions. So they answer questions. So we don't have to say now, this was in Wade versus Wade. Okay, this is in Jocelyn Wade, his ex-wife's divorce. So here's what happened. Now, Attorney Nathan Wade, the special counsel, Fannie's hot dog, entered into a contract with Fulton County in November 1st, 2021. Okay, that's when the timeline's important. Was she hot dogging Nathan Wade before or after the appointment? Now, this was to provide legal services related to anti-corruption matters. Now, on November 2nd then, right, so he gets this new contract with Fannie. His sugar mama is going to give him $1 million. And then the next day, November 2nd, counsel for Mr. Wade, so Nathan filed a complaint for divorce against Jocelyn. It's unbelievable. She's married to this man for 20 plus years. And he's like, perfect, I got this new contract. I'm out of here, baby. So long, mama. She races kids. Now, initiating the divorce in Wade versus Wade. Now, counsel for Mr. Wade's spouse, Jocelyn, served defendants first continuing interrogatories to plaintiff on Mr. Wade's counsel, right? So they sent him a list of questions on November 30th. So the timeline is divorce happens pretty quickly. She lawyers up, and this happens quick, right? So she filed, her attorneys are moving. They filed interrogatories immediately on November 30th, 2021. So he files for divorce the second, boom, they've already got some activity. Now on May 30th, Mr. Wade served a response to our continuing interrogatories, the same thing before. This is on May 30th, 2023. So think about how much time goes by, right? Almost 2 full years. Mr. Wade provided irrelevant arguments.
Crossed over the yellow lines.
So this is what interrogatories look like. They're big, giant list of questions. Okay, so question number 4 was this. All right, Mr. Wade, you have an obligation now. Describe each instance.
Look at him weaving in and out.
Describe each instance in which you had relations, indictments, with a person other than your spouse. Did you indict anybody other than your spouse? During the
curve right here, that's where all that dust is from.
It doesn't mean like cohabitating. Did you have intercourse, right? Like it's specific. Including the period of separation. Were you and Fanny, fannying by providing a complete contact information for each and every person and a complete description of the relations, right? So you have to, I guess, maybe they wanted to know like the positions and, how long was it and all the things. Music, lighting, I don't know. A complete description. So we want to know everything. What did Nathan Wade say? None. No fannying going on. No indictments at all. I haven't indicted anybody other than Jocelyn, a couple years ago. So, that's curious. He wrote none. So is he lying there? Because there's some other evidence that says he was doing some serious indicting with Fanny back during a judicial conference, even before he got the contract. Oops. Here's another question for Nathan in his divorce. Identify any and all occasions in which you entertain a member of the opposite sex other than your spouse who is not related to you. Okay, entertain. What does that mean? Who is not related to you by blood or marriage, or in which a member of the opposite sex other than your spouse who is not related to you by blood or marriage entertains you. Oh. And what does that include? Dining or drinking at restaurants, bars, pubs, hotels, or the person's home from the date of the marriage to the present. So Nathan, have you ever entertained someone on a hotel cruise? Have you ever been to someone's home? Have you ever taken Fanny to a bar or to a pub or to a restaurant? Obviously they did. They went to Napa Valley, right? They were whining and dining all over the place.
answer.
All right, guys.
None, Nathan says. None.
Let me see. Check the chat a little bit.
And again, he submitted all of this on May 30th, 2023, so they're not that old. So, like, clearly, you could have a question, for example.
Jared,
maybe there's some
30.
Issues about
all right, guys.
These relations happen.
We'll kill this one.
But clearly,
Probably be dormant the rest. We'll see how I feel after dinner. I might record from the from there.
Mr. Wade did not verify his responses to the interrogatories. But then we have some more information. We had Michael Roman and Ashley Merchant, hero defense attorney.
All right, later.
Submitted a motion to dismiss and